we're making a salad. I've had a lot of company over lately, a lot of grilling, a lot of steaks, chicken wings, heavy meats, hefty side salads. I'm a bit sick of if I dare say, of the grill right now and your typical potato and macaroni salads. You can hear my dog snoring over there on the floor. Even he's in a food coma. So I'm in the mood for basically some roughage. I just want some vegetables, maybe some nuts, some roasted veg. This recipe is inspired both by the two 30-foot rows of kale in my garden that I'm constantly looking for fun ways to use, and also sort of a fall harvest salad I had out last year at a restaurant that was really good. I came home, sort of recreated it a couple of times. This is my version, so follow along. Starting with our beautiful fresh picked bouquet of kale, I'm going to trim that up. I don't want that hard stem in there, so just get rid of those, and then into a large bowl of cold water with just a little vinegar. Where this is fresh picked, the vinegar will sort of help expel any buggy little critters. Just set that aside and let that soak for a while. On the stove here, I wanted a grain in the salad, so about a cup of water coming to a boil, add half a cup of quinoa. Bring that to a simmer, turn it to low, and let that go for about 15 minutes. I thought a roasted sort of fall veg would be nice in here, so I'm going to do a sweet potato. I'm going to slice this don't chop your finger off like I almost did. This potato was really hard. 1/2-inch vertical pieces, and then I think a 1/2-inch cube will be nice for this. So just give those a chop, and then onto a very well seasoned old trusty sheet pan, 1/4 cup of olive oil that I spiced with just a pinch of cinnamon, a pinch of curry, just some nice warm spices, some paprika, salt and pepper. Give that a toss, 450 degrees, half hour, turning halfway through. And these came out beautifully roasted and caramelized. I thought a nut would be in here, so I toasted about 1/2 cup of whole pecans, however you say it, on the stove, just till they were nice and nutty and toasty. Give those a rough chop and set aside. Winston, you sleepy? Let's check back on that kale. As you can see, there's a bunch of nice little grit in the bottom here, a few little critters, so that's why I do the vinegar soak. But just to note, it's not necessarily a bad thing. If there's bugs on your leafy greens, that means there's no nasty, harsh chemicals on them. So that's a good thing. I'm just gonna strain these, rinse them off one more time, and then we're going to rough chop it, add them into a pretty large bowl, and I would say I ended up with about 8 cups chopped here. Working on some more toppings. I want a savory note in here, so I'm doing 1/2 of a medium onion, and these are all our goodies. We got our roasted potato and our quinoa cooled, our pecans. I thought some pumpkin seeds would be nice. I did some dried blueberries. I would have liked to use cranberries, but I didn't have those. I did some crumbled feta in here, about 1/2 cup. I think a nice hard goat's cheese would be nice in here too. That onion and a nice honey crisp apple. Moving on to a nice dressing. Into a mason jar or food container, 1/2 cup of extra virgin olive oil, 2 tablespoons of Dijon mustard. You could here either decide on some maple syrup or honey. I chose maple syrup today to kind of play in with those fall flavors, but use the real deal, none of that faux crap. And vinegar, I decided on apple cider vinegar. You could use white wine, about 3 tablespoons. I did 1 medium grated clove of garlic just to play into that savory note again with the onion. I like to grate it. I don't like big chunky pieces of raw garlic. And of course, season with salt and pepper. And the great thing about using a mason jar or food container is you can just pop the lid on and shake it up and emulsify your dressing. Let's build this bad boy. So just pour literally everything over your bowl of greens, no order in particular, but I will admit I think this bowl was a tad small, but I made it work. Once you get all that into the bowl, just pour over your lovely dressing and give everything a very good thorough toss. Let's try this guy. I'm gonna try it. That is, what's my camera lady think of it? Oh yeah. Well, I think that says it all. In all honesty, this is amazing. It came out exactly as I hoped, as I remember from last year. The butternut squash in there is creamy, very slightly spiced. Like, you can tell it's spiced, but not overpowering. You have the sweet notes from the Honeycrisp apple and the dried blueberries, some savory from the onion, and a little bit of grated garlic in that dressing. The nuts add a nice crunch with the pumpkin seeds, and of course we got some healthy grains in there, the quinoa. We could talk substitutions. If you don't use sweet potato, you could use butternut squash when it's in season. If you're not a fan of quinoa, we could do, let's see, maybe some, you could do brown rice, you could do pearl couscous, that might be nice. Some barley, any apple that you like, any nuts really that you like. And that dressing is absolutely amazing. I hope you try this. I think you'll enjoy it. Thanks for watching.